Hello, guys, and welcome to this episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, your host and landscapers coach, and today I'm talking about KISS. If you're interested, let's go to the show.
As the co-founders of the Landscaper Circle, we help you get more money, time, and freedom to become limitless through our experiences as fellow landscapers and our tried and tested methods. If you want help with your marketing, managing, or growing your business, you've definitely come to the right place. If you're a landscaper, garden designer, or supplier to the industry, then hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. As always, it's me, Paula, your host and the landscapers coach. How are you? I'll give you an update on my week. We had a fabulous week away in Devon. The sunshine came out. It was absolutely lovely, brilliant location, just a really nice holiday. It came at just the right time because we had our 15-year-old dog put to sleep 2 weeks ago today, which was a very hard decision to make, but the right decision to make for her. Basically her body was failing her. She had cancer, bone cancer of her front legs, and she kept losing the ability to walk basically, and she was struggling even to go outside for her daily business in the garden and stuff. So we felt that her quality of life was severely depleted. She was in a lot of pain, I believe, at the end. Obviously, we won't know because we're not dogs. We have no idea, but the signs were all there. So unfortunately, that happened. Then we went away on holiday, which came at the right time, like I say. And now we're back and we are in the midst of school holidays. And as I have two children, both of school age. And so school holidays are quite a difficult time. I was speaking to a client of mine today who is facing the same struggles because unfortunately, what happens every year in my business is I fail to plan for this exact moment because part of me doesn't want to give the children to grandparents and all of because I want to do stuff with them because they're my children. It's summer holidays, but then we still have the demands of the businesses. And we still have the demands of life in general, keeping on top of the house stuff, taking the dogs to the vets, doing all of the stuff. We have quite a hectic football schedule as well. That does not stop through the holidays. So it's pretty full on. And I'm pleased to say that we only have a few weeks really to get through. So that's what I've been saying to everyone. We only have the rest of August to get through before there is light at the end of the tunnel and some semblance of normal life. And it's not that I enjoy the school holidays with the kids being off. We get to go out for nice long walks. We don't have to get up at the crack of dawn unless, like me, you book them in for an intensive swimming lesson at 8 a.m. every morning for a week. That's been intense this week. That's why I'm looking quite tired. But other than that, I think the thing is what happens when they go back to school is you get routine back into your life. You get a lot of routine available to you. So the days are a lot easier. At the moment, they're waking up. What are we doing? What are we doing now? What are we doing today? Can I see my friends? Can I have a play date? Can I do this? Can we go and play Fortnite? And then again, you want to limit screen time, but you also know you have to get some work done. So that's what they're doing now while I'm recording this for you. And then we'll go back out for a walk and get some fresh air. So it's a balancing act. It's a juggling act, which kind of leads me to what I'm going to talk about today. So in the intro, I said it's about KISS. And if anyone knows the acronym, KISS is called Keep It Simple, Stupid. Now, we always used to use this back in the day when I was a full-time salesperson. We always used to talk about keep it simple, stupid, make everything as easy for you as possible. And it definitely applies when I was Googling this earlier. It applies to systems and designing systems for your business is the key to getting it to work is to keep it as simple as possible. But I feel at the moment that this applies to all my life. And if you've been following me on the podcast and in my business journey, that things have been going a little bit AWOL lately, as in lots of things are changing in my landscaping business. And we've had to make a few decisions, myself and my husband, about how the landscaping business is going to run. And to be honest, the thing I keep coming back to is this: KISS, keep it simple, stupid. Because we have tried complex, we have tried different variations on offering lots of stuff as a services, from a services perspective, having loads of staff, all of this perspective. And quite frankly, I think now it's time to go back to basics and to keep it as simple as possible. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And I would urge you to look not just at your business, but what things in your life are so complex that it's just a headache. Why not keep things more simple? And it really goes back to your goals, and it really goes back to your motto for life. Now, it's been increasingly important on my radar, particularly with the world as it's going, particularly when I'm thinking about later years in life, particularly for Mike, who doesn't want to be working on the tools full time in 10 years' time. And we kind of value more so now than we ever did when we were younger, is the fact that we want more time together with ourselves as a family. And we don't want to waste all of our life working. We don't want to waste precious time trying to build an empire when maybe that's not what will make us happy. So again, it's looking at, we are currently in the stage where we're reframing our goals, and we're re-looking at what do we actually want out of life and why do we want that. One big goal for me is to be more self-sufficient from supermarkets, and I'm looking at more healthy foods to put in my body. And the kids, I find it more important now I have children, that we are looking at what they are eating and what they are drinking, stuff like that, because really this life that we live in, this world that we live in, is all about convenience and all about additives, basically a whole load of crap that they're allowed access to and is considered normal. And if you don't succumb to that, you are not normal, yet the health benefits and stuff like that override this. Now, if I want to be self-sufficient and grow my own food and stuff like that, then I really need to plan this out, because I really need to think about, am I going to be able to do that here where we live at the moment, or am I going to look for bigger space? Now, another part of my goals for life is to have a farm where I can have lots and lots of dogs, because even more so now, we've lost our 15-year-old dog, which completely ripped my heart open into it. Did Mike as well. And the kids are still, it's their first death that they're getting used to. We really want want more dogs, because the joy they bring is just insane. But you have to deal with the losses as well, which is a struggle at the moment. But essentially, to do that, a farm is key. It ticks all the boxes. I can grow my own food. I can have my own chickens and ducks to provide eggs. I can have the space to have dogs, more animals, what I want to do. So this is all important. Now, I'm not saying that I'm suddenly going to go sell up and run away. That's not the point. But the point is to have a look at my life and how it needs to change in order to achieve those goals. And it comes back to keeping it more simple. It really is. It's keeping it as simple as possible and maintaining that work-life balance, which I feel a lot of coaches push the hustle. I'm not about that. I'm all about being successful. But what does success mean to you? And it's a question me and Charlotte, when we started this business, God, a few years now, when we started it together, that was the whole purpose of it, to help you guys find out what success means to you. Because what success means to me is different to what it means to you. And even as we develop as people and adults, as we go on this business journey and this life journey, what success means changes. So success used to mean I wanted a massive business, turning over millions of pounds. I wanted to be the biggest landscaper in the area. That has massively changed over the years. And part of that is because I want a more simple life, and I want less of the hustle and more of the time. I want to curate time for my family, time for myself. I don't want to be hustling. I do not want to be in that constant state of stress, anxiety, trying to get to the next level all of the time. That's not to say that I want to be unsuccessful, though, because success in my book is having a business that runs easily, efficiently, with or without me there. It's a business that is profitable when it comes to figures. So it makes a profit. That's really important. Um, and it gives us the life that we desire. We don't live what a simple life at the moment. We've got lots of outgoings from part of our hobbies are going to the gym, and a lot of our outgoings is on food because we eat a lot of it. And because we are looking for high quality stuff, we are not buying stuff from the supermarkets. We are going to the local farm shops. We're going to a local butcher. We go to a dairy farm and have raw milk. We invest in vitamins and supplements and stuff to keep us healthy. And obviously, we have multiple gym memberships, coaches, all of that jazz because that is our main hobby, but it doesn't come cheap. So it's not to say that we live a really cheap life. What I'm saying is, I want my life to be more than just working like a dog, many hours a day. Mike's back is broken because he's on the tools day and night, going off to quotes. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is success is different for everybody. And I don't believe you need to hustle and kill yourself to do it. So I believe we can all review our lives and our businesses according to keeping it simple. Maybe the simple life is actually the one more desired than what I've been thinking a lot lately about. The old me would want the fastest car, the newest car, the biggest house. The new me, or the me that I've become as I've grown, got older, learnt more lessons, is actually, I don't want a massive house and the brand new car. I want a farm in the countryside away from other people as much as possible, surrounded by animals, with my children more often, spending quality time with them instead of having to say, no, you're going to go like today, you have to go on fortnight while I get some work done. I want to be able to not have to do that. I want to be able to indulge in my hobbies of going to the gym. I would like to just have more time, not work weekends, not have crap from clients when you're on holiday, not have staff issues to deal with when you go away or even when you're here. And you've got to think about what's important to you too, and think about how you can make that happen because everything is possible. I love the quote, anything is possible because nothing is impossible. The very word says, I'm possible. And the fact is, if you believe it, then you can make it happen. There's always a way to make stuff happen. Don't just look at everything in black and white. Look at the shades of grey. See what you want to do. But the first step is mapping out what makes you happy. What do you want more of? What do you want less of? Because what I've come to the realization, which is why I'm blabbering on this podcast, is the fact that what I used to think was really important and what I defined success as is completely different to now. And I know that was my 20-year-old self, 30-year-old self thought one way. My 40-year-old self thinks in a very different way in many aspects, not just in success as from a business perspective, but success from a personal perspective as well. And so it's really key and it's really important to start thinking how things might have changed for you. Because what can happen, and has happened to me, is you get sucked into the world's decision, what people in society tell you is successful. You get sucked into that. So that's what you think you have to be, you have to have, you have to do in order to be successful in society's eyes. You also set some goals and you go on this path. And instead of reviewing those goals and thinking, hang on a second, that is no longer the person I am, that no longer matches my values. Hang on, it's time to revisit these goals, change them, and then change the action plan to get there. You blindly continue along to these goals just because you haven't reviewed them and you reviewed the changes in yourself. And I think it comes to certain points. So things that have made us look at this is staffing issues that I've talked about in previous podcasts. So that's raised some issues in the business, which has allowed us to pause, stop and reflect and decide what we actually want from life and therefore what the business must look like in order to provide that life. So it's really important to keep revisiting and reviewing your goals for yourself, and your business, because it's all interlinked. You have personal goals, and in order to achieve the personal goals, you might need your business to financially help you get there. You may need a business that gives you the time available to hit some of your personal goals. So you have to think about this not as two separate things, but as one thing. What are your life's goals? What do you want to say in 10 years' time or what do you want your life to look like in 10 years' time? Because there's more than one ways to get there, is one thing. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, essentially. So the road that you're traveling or the path that you're treading now might not necessarily be the only one available to you to get to that goal. That's one thing to be mindful of. Or you might have changed your opinions and things like I have, and changed quite drastically as a person. It's not just me, Mike's the same. We're both on the same page, luckily. Your goals have to change because you as people have changed and what's important to you has changed. So you need to change those goals, and therefore then you take a look at everything else around you. So the business that you're in or the job that you're in, whatever it might be, you need to keep reflecting and relooking, because we only have one life. And at the end of the day, I'm not prepared to live a life that society deems to be a success, or what society deems that I do or say. And I'm certainly not going to live a life that doesn't make me feel happy. So I will find ways and solutions to create the life of my dreams. And that's all I'm asking you to think about, particularly as it's summer holidays. And you're probably, if you are a mother or father that has to entertain the kids as well as carving out time for business, you may be feeling quite overwhelmed and thinking, is this how I want to live my life going forward? Now's the time to think about your goals. So that is what me and Mike are doing. We are making some big changes to the business, which is exciting and scary because you never know if you're doing the right thing or not. I obviously have a business coach that can help support me. And that's what I'm here as a landscapers coach, to help support you. So again, whether your definition of success matches mine or not, I'm here to help you, because all of us have different versions of success. All of us have different visions for our lives, and none of it is wrong. It's just what you want. And if you need help with that, a coach is the best way to go for it. I'm not going to tell you to hustle. I'm not going to ask you to work 20 hours a day to tick all the boxes, but I am there to support and guide and mentor. So if you need any help with that, book onto a discovery call with me and we can have a chat about what your biggest issue is at the moment and how we can potentially overcome that. Just drop me an email, paula@thelandscaperscoach.co.uk. I'm also in the midst of developing TLC in another way that I've been thinking of for years, never have time, never get round to it. And again, I'm on about keeping it simple. The KISS acronym still applies. So things will be changing here. I'll be sending some emails out to anyone on my mailing list for some help with that as well. So if you're not on the mailing list, get on it. Just go to the website www.thelandscapescoach.co.uk and put your email address into the newsletter bar, and then you'll get all the newsletters I send out. But essentially, it's a very exciting time. It's a very overwhelming month, August. It's a different kind of pressure at play, but it's also a very reflective month that I'm finding. And July was a very sad month for reasons I stated at the beginning. And added to that, I am 7 weeks out from my first bodybuilding competition. So carbohydrates are at all-time low. I am tired, but I am still digging to get to stage lean, physique of my dreams, to ultimately go and win and be crowned wellness queen of the show. 2 shows and get to British finals is my big goals at this present moment. So I still have all of that to do, which is proving difficult as well. But again, applying the keeping it simple rule and asking for some help where needed, asking for people to look after the kids. I can go to the gym is one element, which means people only have to have them for a couple of hours instead of a whole day. And funnily enough, most people are quite happy to do that because they know I've got a goal in mind. They know what my vision is for that goal. They know what my success will look like. And they know that in order to get there, I've got certain actions I've got to take. So yes, all in all, it's a very exciting month. All in all, I'm going to keep it simple. And I urge you to do the same. And again, reach out if you need any help. So that's me. Sorry if it's a bit rambly today. but I am very tired. And get in touch if you've got any comments, questions, leave me a review. I love reading reviews from you guys. And all in all, have a really fantastic week and think about what success looks like to you. And we'll have a conversation offline. Right. I'll chat to you soon, guys. Ciao for now.